CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. It could be a major advance in the search for ways to fight, someday even prevent, the ravages of Alzheimer's disease. Researchers reported today in the journal Science that they have discovered an enzyme that may trigger the brain-destroying disease. This could open a whole new line of attack against Alzheimer's by blocking the enzyme and disabling the trigger. CBS's Elizabeth Caledon has the facts and the prospects.
For years, doctors have known that the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease gradually get clogged with something called amyloids, proteins that literally litter the brain, blocking neurons and erasing memories. No one ever knew what caused the amyloids to form, but today, researchers at the Amgen labs in California say they have finally figured it out.
We have discovered an enzyme that plays a critical role in the formation of amyloid, and this amyloid makes the amyloid plaques that cause Alzheimer's disease.
Researchers believe the enzyme may be present in the brain long before any symptoms of Alzheimer's disease even show up. But in full-blown Alzheimer's, the enzyme cuts brain cell proteins and slices them into fragments or amyloids, which form a toxic plaque, killing nerve cells in the brain. The result is that people like Zan White can't remember things, sometimes don't recognize family members, and gradually lose touch with reality.
And the greatest fear is that you won't die soon enough, that you'll be a vegetable.
There is no cure for Alzheimer's disease, and even the best current treatments can only control symptoms for a short time. The hope is that the discovery of what kickstarts the disease will lead to promising new drugs that can turn it off.
What we did before in developing such drugs was shooting in the dark. This sheds a major light on how we can approach Alzheimer's therapy in the future.
In the same way that drugs called protease inhibitors block the protease enzyme linked to the AIDS virus, scientists believe they can develop a similar class of drugs to block the enzyme that leads to Alzheimer's disease. But since it's taken more than a decade to find that elusive enzyme, it's expected to take another 5 to 10 years to turn the discovery into a marketable treatment. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
Joining us now for context and perspective on these new findings about Alzheimer's, our CBS News medical consultant, Dr. Bernadine Healy, president of the American Red Cross. Dr. Healy, why is this discovery so important?
Because this disease is so terrible, Dan. This is a disease that really you lose your brain, your body may be functioning well, and it goes on for many years. We see 4 million Americans with Alzheimer's now. The baby boomers will be facing maybe 14 million with Alzheimer's. We need a breakthrough. This appears to be one.
And what's the next challenge?
Well, we've got a long way to go, and there are 2 big challenges ahead. One is we have the enzyme, but you've got to design a drug that can be given to people and can be given to people safely, and that can take many years. But there's a second piece here, and that is we do not have the ability to diagnose Alzheimer's disease early. And the beauty of this discovery is that it gives us the opportunity to prevent Alzheimer's disease and to treat it early and keep it from so brutally damaging the brain.
Dr. Bernadine Healy, thanks. Overseas tonight, in a place where Orthodox Christian Russia meets an Islamic part of the country, at least 143 people are now reported dead from the Russian missile attack on the capital of Chechnya. Local officials there say more than 300 people were wounded, and the attack yesterday has raised new fears worldwide about what the Russians are doing in the trying to break away republic. CBS News Moscow correspondent David Hawkins has the latest. We caution you, as is so often the case in the reality of war, some of these scenes are gruesome and may be difficult to watch.
Russian authorities are offering confused and contradictory explanations for yesterday's deadly rocket assault on an open-air market in downtown Grozny. Eyewitnesses say the missiles came at supper time, when the market was full of ordinary people shopping for food or sitting at outdoor cafes. Chechen authorities say a missile also hit a maternity hospital, killing several women and their infants. After initially denying any part in the attacks, today Russia's military changed its tune. The military spokesman said Russian forces conducted a special operation, but only at the market, which he described as an arms bazaar. He insisted no civilians were killed and said anyone in the area after dark was either a bandit or a terrorist. Ignoring the military's statement, Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin stuck to the old line. He said today the Chechens themselves were responsible for the blasts. Since invading Chechnya a month ago, Russian forces have carefully avoided an all-out confrontation, relying largely on air and artillery strikes. It's a lesson from their humiliating defeat 3 years ago, when Chechnya won limited independence from Moscow. Yesterday's attack and today's muddled explanations are testing the credibility of the Kremlin's claim that its campaign in Chechnya is targeting terrorists, not civilians. And it's again raising questions about whether the war in Chechnya is about fighting terrorism at all, or more simply, about revenge. David Hawkins, CBS News, Moscow.
In Washington, U.S. officials said today they were alarmed by the Russian attack in Chechnya. A White House spokesman said, and I quote, "There is no way to find a purely military solution, and the two sides need to have a political dialogue." Tomorrow is the first anniversary of a notorious murder. The victim, a doctor who performed abortions. The alleged ambush killer is still at large. And as CBS's Jim Stewart reports, there is growing concern he may be ready to kill again.
In suburban Virginia, Dr. Herb Jones, a veteran abortion provider, has prepared the best he can. He's not comfortable with it, but he now owns a pistol. His home has a security system. His assistants perform security checks, and still he admits it may not be enough.
With the new modern-day rifles and all, you can't hide but so much.
1 year ago Saturday, Dr. Barnett Slepian, an abortion provider in upstate New York, was not safe even in his own home. Slepian was shot with a rifle while standing in his kitchen. He died in his wife's arms. It was the fifth such sniper attack in 4 years on abortion doctors, and they have all occurred precisely at this time of year. And all, say authorities, were the work of this man, James Charles Kopp, a veteran anti-abortion protester who is still on the run and still considered a threat. The FBI promoted him to their most wanted list in June.
We know that he's used approximately 29 different aliases and false identification.
Why Kopp is chosen the last week of October through November 11th for his attacks has never been made clear, but it is a period now etched in the minds of abortion doctors around the country. Security has been heightened at every clinic in the United States and Canada.
Obviously, we've all had to take more security precautions, which are expensive.
Each of Kopp's previous sniper attacks have shared the trademark of exhaustive advanced planning. He tracked some targets for days, others maybe for weeks. But that was before the FBI learned his identity and flashed his picture all across the country. The question now is, will that be enough to keep him from shooting again? Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
Dateline Denver. The mother of a student wounded in the Columbine High School massacre walked into a suburban pawn shop today and committed suicide with a handgun. She was Carla June Hutchalter. Her daughter is paralyzed as a result of the Columbine tragedy. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, the special plea deal that will allow an admitted thief to contend for college football's highest honor. Dangerous trucks from across the border. A lot more may be on the way. And the most witnessed witness on Capitol Hill. Is he the real deal? A reality check is ahead.
In the last 13 years, Nicorette helped over 1 million people help themselves stop smoking. And that was the reason that convinced me to use Nicorette. All these people knew it was safe and effective. Nicorette delivers a low level of nicotine fast to help control cravings without the tars and toxins found in cigarettes. And Nicorette was proven safe and effective in more clinical trials than any other product. Just the idea that Nicorette had helped all those people made me feel that Nicorette was the right choice for me in the end. Which it was.
Nicorette helps you fight your cravings, your habit, your way. You can do it. Nicorette can help. You can't live without water. Can you live without art? The bold look of Kohler.
All right, kid. Here we go. 10-9. What do you got? What do you got? What? Yeah. All right, come on, come on.
What would you do if someone you loved had a heart attack?
Yeah.
Did you know it's now been proven that the same Bayer aspirin you have in your bag for muscle aches may actually help stop you from dying if you take it during a heart attack?
Downtown. Lucky shot.
Can your pain reliever do that? Talk to your doctor now.
Next time I'll go easier on you.
Bayer, powerful pain relief and so much more.
Enterprise? Hi, my car's out of commission, so I'm out of commission.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
College football fans may have a mixed reaction to this story. A contender for the Heisman Trophy, who was arrested for stealing 2 weeks ago, will be back on the field tomorrow for top-ranked Florida State, thanks to a controversial reverse play by a judge. CBS's Bob Orr reports.
Florida State's Peter Warrick, number 9, has speed and style, and now a conviction for petty theft. But after a 2-week suspension, Warrick today rejoined his team in time for tomorrow's game with Clemson.
It's over and done with. He's happy. He's smiling. He's ready to put that uniform back on and do some great things.
For a while, it looked like Warrick may not play another college football game after he, a teammate, and a department store clerk were captured on tape paying just $21 for $400 worth of clothing. Instead of a felony, prosecutors and Warrick originally agreed to a misdemeanor guilty plea with 30 days in jail after the season. But Florida State's president insisted Warrick could not play with jail time pending.
This defendant is pleading guilty.
So today, in a Tallahassee courtroom, a new deal was struck. No jail time, just probation, a fine, and community service.
He's not wearing stripes, he's not in jail, and that's a significant determinative factor for the university.
Far from a sweetheart deal, some think Warrick has been persecuted because of his star status.
What he did on the college football landscape is the equivalent of a parking ticket, but he's punished because he's more famous.
But there's also a chorus of critics who cite the Warrick deal as the latest proof that all rules are bendable when big-time sports and its heroes are the ones in trouble. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
Switzerland today expelled a Nazi collaborator, sending him back to France, where he faces 10 years in prison. 89-year-old Maurice Papon was flown to France after being arrested in a Swiss hotel where he was staying under a false name. He was convicted last year of crimes against humanity for helping to deport French Jews to Nazi death camps. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, why American truckers say NAFTA could make driving more dangerous.
Hey, man, how come every time I call you, you're on the phone? Who are you talking to?
My friends, family. I call them a lot since I don't get to see them that much.
Phone bills must be killing you.
Not at all. I dial 10-10-321. It's only 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. That's 50% off.
And when you're talking with family and friends, you just know you're going to be on for a while.
Sounds good. My wife's on the phone all the time with her sister. Hey, man, am I ever going to get to shoot?
Not when you're playing against me.
Out here, I'm in command. So am I supposed to say, slow down, guys, I'm constipated? I don't think so. You try to eat right. Sometimes you can't. Harsh chemical laxatives, they can kick in whenever and wherever. Not an option. So I rely on doctor-recommended Metamucil. It's got 100% natural fiber. Works with my body, gently, which is important to a sensitive guy like myself.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
All the way to the corner, girl, can you do a little do-si-do?
Imagine calling a dance without worrying about your dentures slipping. Thanks to the all-day hold of Super Poly Grip, I can laugh and smile and take a healthy bite out of life.
What if you could treat wrinkles like an expert would? With Rock, the #1 anti-wrinkle cream in France, you can. Developed with dermatologists, Rock's pure and active form of vitamin A works deeper, inside skin surface. In a 12-week study, the appearance of fine lines was reduced by 86%, wrinkles by 42%. Something more superficial beauty treatments could never promise. Rock, we keep our promises.
In Central California, highway crash investigators said today they are baffled by a church van accident that killed 7 of the 14 people riding inside. The van apparently went into a broadside slide on a straight section of road, overturned, and landed on its side in a ditch. No other vehicle was involved. The police say it's possible the van driver swerved to avoid a deer. American truckers are warning of a new danger looming on U.S. highways as they see it. Under the North American Free Trade Agreement, foreign trucks are supposed to have full access to U.S. highways as of January 1, 2000. But as CBS's Vince Gonzalez reports tonight, a convoy is forming to try to block them.
Deadly accidents like this one, when an overloaded Canadian truck slammed into a Baltimore pedestrian bridge last June, have the American trucking industry saying, "We told you so."
I want my family to be safe on our highways. I hope that our government takes more action to ensure that these unsafe vehicles stay off our highways.
Since the dawn of NAFTA, American truckers, led by the Teamsters, have fought to keep Canadian and Mexican trucks off U.S. highways. With the new deadline approaching, they fear more fatal crashes, especially if Mexican trucks get a green light to travel freely. Right now, most are limited to zones near the border, and many enter the U.S. without inspections at undermanned crossings. Texas State Trooper Scott Avent inspects Mexican trucks at the nation's busiest border checkpoint in Laredo, Texas. He routinely sees bad brakes, worn tires, and unlicensed drivers.
I would say that 3 out of 6 trucks that I would check would be placed out of service.
And that concerns the National Transportation Safety Board, which this week launched hearings to determine whether free trade will come at too high a price.
We already have very dangerous and congested highways in the United States. Before we add additional traffic to those highways, we need to be sure that it's done in the safest manner possible.
But many Mexican trucking executives, like Jorge Arizona in Mexicali, say their trucks are safe, that the real fear in the U.S. is the loss of American jobs.
The Teamsters and the big boys, the big companies, they don't want the Mexican to go and take that part of the market. They want everything.
The government admits that most truck-related fatalities involve only American drivers. Still, with an election year coming, and big labor revving up its political engines, some in Washington are already promising to slam the brakes on any move to open American roads. Vince Gonzalez, CBS News, Mexicali, Mexico.
There's news tonight about your tax dollars at work. Buried in the fine print of a multi-billion-dollar federal funding bill signed by President Clinton today, you will find this. One provision gives federal health officials $34 million to fight smoking by the young. This same bill provides almost 10 times as much, $328 million, to compensate tobacco farmers for declining cigarette sales. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, the story of a loan shark who wanted a pound of flesh, and not just any pound.
Fortunately, there's Nasonex nasal spray, an effective nasal allergy prescription medicine taken once a day to relieve nasal allergy symptoms, indoors and out. Now that's wonderful. The most common side effects were headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
Right now at LensCrafters, you can get a complete pair of great-looking glasses for only $99 in your choice of hundreds of the latest styles.
The LensCrafters $99 complete pair sale.
Only $99. You can't afford to miss an offer like this.
Hurry, offer ends soon.
You have smooth, beautiful skin, waiting to be revealed. Jergens Skin Smoothing Lotion with beta-hydroxy to gently exfoliate and smooth your skin. Jergens, it nourishes your skin.
Can a sunset make you happy? A child's laugh? A warm breeze? No, not without emotional well-being inside. Now to help support the emotional wellness needed to enjoy life, there's Sammy from Nature Made. This natural supplement used around the world is now here for you. Nature Made Sam E, because happiness comes from the inside.
Now there's a Chevy Venture with flip and fold seats and a built-in entertainment system.
I knew I should have taken a left turn at Albuquerque.
Fun things are bound to happen when Chevy and Warner Brothers get together. Introducing the new Warner Brothers edition from Chevy Venture, the most versatile minivan ever. One quick call can help you learn more.
Let's go!
Japan is feeling economic shock waves, not from an earthquake, but from the continuing recession. CBS's Barry Peterson reports Japanese workers who once enjoyed lifetime security are facing a new and harsher reality.
It was glitz and glitter at the Tokyo Auto Show, but beneath the chrome and choreography, there wasn't much to smile about. Nissan announced it's cutting 21,000 jobs. And in other industries, there are cuts or proposals revealed this week to lay off 20,000 more. And if that isn't bad enough, there's a new darker side of Japan's recession coming to light. This cash-strapped retired pensioner, who wants his identity protected, co-signed a friend's $20,000 loan. When the friend disappeared, the loan company called the pensioner, demanding repayment plus $40,000 interest, and allegedly told him how to raise the money. He taped the conversation. You have 2 kidneys, says the debt collector. A lot of our debtors only have 1 kidney. Why don't you sell one? The pensioner is suing the loan company that harassed him with these kinds of demands. Why don't you sell one of your eyes, yells the debt collector. You don't need 2 eyes. An eye, the debt collector claims, can fetch up to $10,000. The loan company refused to comment, but theirs is about the only business that's booming in this recession. And with more bad economic news likely, more Japanese will learn that the loan shark who saves them one day may be literally back for blood the next. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Tokyo.
On the CBS Market Watch, Congress and the President have agreed on an overhaul of the banking laws, making it easier for financial institutions to sell each other's products. That, among other things, touched off a Wall Street rally. The Dow up 172 points today, a gain of 4.5% for the week, despite yesterday's big slide. NASDAQ up 14 points today, up 3% for the week.
When dentures dream, they see the perfect denture cleanser. One with the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and the freshening power of Listerine. Well, little friend, dream no more. It's really here. It's called Efferdent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Efferdent Clean and Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
Our latest innovation springs from a very old idea, that heat cleans better. And so, Bissell introduces the first and only upright deep cleaner with an onboard heater. A common sense idea to make cleaning even cleaner. The new Power Steamer Pro Heat Plus from Bissell. Life's messy. Clean it up.
Can you believe it? My husband, Nolan Ryan, has arthritis. So his doctor says, stay active and take Advil to make it easier. I take it for my arthritis pain, so we can exercise together.
Advil, stronger than pain. You've dreamed of opening your own place. Now stay healthy and energetic and enjoy it. Give your life a silver lining with Centrum Silver. Its age-essential nutrients may help maintain your immunity and help keep your heart healthy. Give your life a silver lining with Centrum Silver.
We end our broadcast with some insight into something you see every day but may not have really noticed. Ever wonder where they get those so-called John Q. Public witnesses, the ones who appear before Congress to give the view of the average American? We think the real John and Jane Q. Public will be mighty surprised by this reality check from CBS's Eric Ingberg.
The U.S. Congress, so they tell us, is a people place. The voice of the people. It influences votes and changes policy.
With us here today are some hard-working Americans
A politician holding a press conference wants real people with him.
And if small business cannot afford health care for its employees...
People like Sal Risolvato, who owns a gas station in a small town in New Jersey.
I'm Sal Risolvato, founder of Riverdale Texaco.
This year, Risolvato has been all over the airwaves in radio ads sponsored by business opponents of the Patient's Bill of Rights.
Patient's Bill of Rights? You ought to call it the lawyer's right to bill.
What the ads don't mention is that Risolvato is an activist in an influential small business lobbying group, and that he's a highly experienced spokesman for small business interests, having starred in previous newspaper ad campaigns and stood at the microphones next to cabinet secretaries.
The costs are out of control.
But where the small business lobby uses Risolvato the most is in testifying to Congress, talking about health care, environmental, or regulatory legislation.
You must have testified before either House or Senate committees more than a half a dozen times just in the last couple of years.
Probably closer to 20 times in the last 6 or 7 years.
Risolvato is one of a growing band of artificial real people now common in the Washington spin machine. No matter what the high-stakes issue may be, lobbyists will supply knowledgeable, well-rehearsed advocates who look just like ordinary folks from Main Street.
I am, in fact, an average, everyday small business owner.
Albeit one who has hung out with presidents.
That was one of 3 or 4 times that I was able to meet with President Bush.
And spoken to the Republican National Convention.
We thought it might be valuable to hear from a real-life small business owner.
As always, his political pedigree wasn't given.
I own a Texaco service station in Riverdale, New Jersey, with my brother Vinny.
Risolvato's greatest strength, according to lobbyists who have booked his appearances, is that he looks so un-Washington.
Hello, New Jersey.
But when he showed us his resume, it sure looked Washington. Political work at the top, gas station credentials at the bottom.
You were telling us that you have actually gotten so interested in these policy issues, you've become sort of less interested in operating a gas station.
Yeah, I've never been the kind of guy to get dirt under my fingernails.
That's the precision-guided voice of real people as seen from the Capitol. Where even when politicians make a show of listening to the ordinary guy from Main Street, that's what it is, a show. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Washington.
Artificial real people, part of our world tonight. Bob Schieffer will be along Sunday morning with Face the Nation. Now from 60 Minutes, Leslie Stahl.
Sunday on 60 Minutes, Ed Bradley and Bill Bradley on why he wants to be president. No, not Ed, Bill, the basketball star turned politician. Also, Mike Wallace with the story of how California's Medi-Cal program turned fraudulent to the tune of $1 billion a year.
60 Minutes Sunday, and we invite you to join us again Monday for the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting from New York. Have a great weekend. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the Internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
She wants to live to be 100, and it may soon be possible for you, too. Find out how when Mike Wallace begins our countdown to 2000, Monday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
A rare disease hits college kids. The symptoms on Saturday morning. Experience CBS News.
The #1 newscast at 6 o'clock for the people of Portland, Vancouver, and the Pacific Northwest.